It is now 7 o'clock. I call to order this Budget Committee meeting of September 9th, 2015.
I just had one of those.
Okay, is everyone, please take a look at the meeting minutes of August 12th. Thank you, Tim.
My only thought,
Yep, go ahead.
which is more of a clarification on page 1. It just says, Mr. Scanlon noted that 2 officers had recently left the department. The SRO position that was vacated was discussed. In the next sentence, a patrol officer was hired. It's not the same person, right?
There was no SRO position vacated
Okay.
at all. Officer Patton has been the SRO for approximately 3 years. He's the SRO this year as well.
Good.
So that should be, we should strike that.
That's an incorrect statement, right?
Yes, I must admit, Pat, there was a miscommunication with that, and you sent the school administration in a tizzy at that point in time, or I did.
Yeah, because I haven't talked to them.
Huh?
I haven't talked to the school administration.
Well, we did, and they both went a little crazy when they found out that there was a possibility
Oh,
that there would be someone else.
no, there's,
Because my recommendation to them was, since they're having some problems now with some sexual harassment stuff, that we now have 2 female officers, it would be nice to see one of them,
yeah.
if and when Bill moves on, that person be considered for that position.
There's a whole criteria and schooling and everything else to go with the SRO position, so in order to do that, it's months to get to that position.
But that's certainly negotiable in the contract.
Yeah.
As to who we provide.
Right.
Can we just strike that one sentence then and make it,
I've heard, Eric, are you comfortable with that?
Yep, that's fine. I was just...
Further discussion? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion
accept
to
the minutes
accept
as
them as written, as corrected.
Corrected, yes? We have a second.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Those opposed, nay. All right,
I'll abstain as I
And I'll
wasn't here.
abstain because I wasn't here.
okay. And let me bring forward that John is not here, but Pat is filling in
The
for
alternate.
until he comes in, or
Yep,
Excuse me.
at that point.
the alternate, yep.
You have got Tim emailed the financial reports. Everyone get a chance to look at them.
Yes.
Okay. I do have a couple of questions on them.
Okay.
First question deals with Tilton sewer offsets. 2 checks were written.
Tilton, what again?
What's that? Yeah, page 6, towards the top, and the 15389 is the number. There was an offset for 35 noise and 20 WRC. Does that money come from the sewer commission budget?
Those, I believe, were sewer bills for properties that the town had
We took for deed,
Okay, so we have the...
right, so we have to pay the current sewer to you and the current water, because now we own them.
Okay.
They're going up for auction on October 17th.
What line item does that come out of, do we know?
For the,
Offsets.
it should come under, I believe, there should be a special line item for that, and I don't know whether it's under financial or... It would show as an income, not as an expense. The expense is when we pay for the sewer, because that's a separate entity, now that we own it. It's if we took a trailer, we would have to pay for the rent.
Okay.
So that would be an expense, but we get the income from that. So when we auction off a house, if we auction off a building or land, the only monies that we can collect are the monies owed to us. So if there's a house that we're auctioning off that's worth $100,000, and they owe $72,000 in taxes on it, and the auction income was $80,000, we can take what's been owed to us as back taxes,
Okay.
which is $72,000, plus the administrative fees, the lawyer fees, and the auctioneer's fees, and the advertising fees, things like that. And then whatever is left over, it goes back either to the court or the estate, depending on who the prior owner was.
But the monies need to come...
So that comes in as an income, that comes in as a revenue.
Okay.
So that's listed as a sale of property under revenue.
But initially, it has to come out of something out of the budget, because it has to be paid prior to it becoming an income.
So, well, the sewer would come out of, like page 6, we just did it. Where did it just come out of?
Maintenance and repairs.
Yeah, maintenance and repairs, so
Okay.
that's where we kind of put it, and then we shift it around afterwards.
Okay. I just
So it'd be
wondered-
shifted around, right.
And should that be reflected when we write the check, or...
It's all reflective in where, it goes into, Tim puts them in the prospective categories, because there's several categories that it's being put in. It's the sale of the property, it's the legal fee, it's
But as it's written-
advertising.
As it's written on the spreadsheet, there's no designation what line item it came out of. It's just put as a check.
Okay, I see what you're saying. We can, right,
Jim might want to...
yep,
Okay?
we can,
Just makes it easy to read and keep things straight.
so under 15,389, where it says invoice $80 to Tilton Sewer,
Right.
well, the check was written to Tilton Sewer.
Right, but it doesn't...
So it's revenue offset by 35 Noyes Street, which is the revenue would be coming from the tax sale. So what other information do you,
I just wanted to know where it's coming from initially before we're able to recoup the funds.
what category, where he's coming, okay.
Right.
It would be coming from this 440 account, which would be,
Town hall, maintenance and repair.
Town Hall Maintenance and Repair,
Okay.
all right?
Yeah. Good.
You see on the bottom, on the check for the category, on page 6 where it says the invoice, and then it says total for account number in bold?
Yeah.
That's the account that it came from.
Okay.
All right.
As I'm reading through it, though, it would make more sense if I just replace it.
I identified it, okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions before I go on? Eric?
Well, since we're just on page 6, we had $1,000 for Moses Auto Body, Silverado repair.
It's a the deductible. There was an accident on the pickup truck in the yard. The loader backed into it. The total cost was approximately $31.92, and we have a $1,000 deductible.
I didn't think we had a Silverado, so I was just...
We have a couple that are out on workman's comp.
Okay. What I'm looking at is workman comp insurance, 01624196.
Yep.
.991. It's over budget.
Yes, we have,
And the other one is the unemployment.
for workman's comp is only estimated until you actually use it, and we're using it. We have a couple that are out on workman's comp right now.
Okay. We're about, what, halfway through the budget? And that's the same with the...
We're almost three-quarters of the way through the
Three-quarters, the
budget.
unemployment, workman's comp and unemployment are both up over the projected amount. Do you foresee them going higher?
The workman's comp, yes. Unemployment is an estimate, I can't foresee that, but workman's comp, yes, we have a couple that will be out, continued to be out
Okay.
beyond this date, yep.
Okay, because I was just concerned because we're going to the far end. All right, the other one is page 17, 0178 4210 99360, and it's telephone. As I was reading through it, we had budgeted 0 for that, and there was a check written against it for $145.90.
I'll have to get with Tim on that one. I know that he's been working on the telephones. There's a couple of different telephones that we're talking about up at the PD, so I don't want to make the wrong
Right.
assumption. I'll get an answer for you via
Right.
email, if that's okay.
So I'm wondering if that was 0, or there's a mistake that there was actually money left in that line item.
Okay. Well, let's look at
The other one is
Big
page
picture.
20, 0178 4210, equipment purchases. Also over budget at this point in time?
Yeah, there's going to be a movement out of there for equipment purchases for the you see the 32241 is countertops that they did in the patrol room. You know, we have the new body cameras, and the body cameras have to have charges at night. You know, they have a charger, so they needed some type of staging, if you would, for the charger units. So he got a countertop to match the others in the room. That's going to go to building, it's going to be moved to, I got it on my main page here, hold on a minute. That will be moved to building improvement.
Okay.
All right, so that will take down, so it's not going to be, right, it's not going to be overspent, right.
Jane, any questions? Stan,
The other one that you had on the telephone, what was the,
telephone
Police department
was
telephone.
page 17, 0178 4210 99360.
see it? Yep, I do. I wanted it on the main page, I just wanted to,
Okay, Eric, anything?
Yep. Just page 1, Town Hall Administration, just the front, the main page. Printing is way over budget.
I think that was from the beginning.
yeah.
Okay. And I may just need a reminder. The other one that kind of,
Is it an extra election or something along
It
those
was the
lines?
extra.
Yeah.
Extra election, yeah.
well, the two that I guess are coming, or fast approaching their line items would be the Town Hall janitorial, which is at 92% spent already for the year. Is that the cleaning contract? Is that-
Yes, that's a cleaning contract.
So,
And that, right, and that there was an increase towards the early, I want to say March or April, they came in and increased it. I can get that information for you.
Okay.
So that probably will be overspent because there was an increase in the contract. Let me write that down. Cleaning.
And then in that same area is town hall heat, is 90% spent, and we haven't even hit the cold weather season yet?
Yeah.
Is that probably gonna go way over for the year?
Yep, because of the winter we had.
And then in town clerk tax collector,
Yep.
the office supplies is at 96% spent for the year?
Yeah, there was a,
What was the extra election? That was one.
well, one, but there's a folding machine, and she had to get the power supply. It didn't come with the power supply. I needed that. That was an extra $80, and so that's an expenditure that won't happen.
Okay.
That was,
And then ironically, the finance budget is at 91% spent overall.
right, he's
And-
watching that. We do, under finance supplies, there, it is 103% spent that he bought 2 years' supplies of checks because it was much cheaper than to buy 1 year and then buy another year, and that's why that line item was overspent. Printing is, town hall printing is the reports along with everyday printing, and Tim is audits and things like that, so.
And then my last question was the PD overtime is 84% spent for the year. Are we going to be, is it because we're short-staffed? Is it?
It's been for a lot of reasons. Short-staffed due to medical, and short-staffed because we had officers leave. We have two officers that have left. We've hired two. One as late as this past week, we hired another one. What the PD has asked us to do is to change their schedule around, and to a benefit to the town too, to lessen overtime, but also to a benefit to them as well. So we're putting that into a 90-day trial. So let's see if that works out.
So at this point in time,
We're
PD is now fully manned?
Well, we still have a couple of officers that are out on, one officer that's out on medical, one supervisor that's out on medical.
Okay.
We have, technically, we have a full complement of officers, meaning we have, 7 officers, but there are 2 of them that are not trained. We have Elizabeth Murray that is not certified, so that she's doing her field training criteria now, and she will go in the January school to be certified. So it'll probably be 4 to 6 months before you see her actually on the road by herself. She has to be with another person. The officer that we hired came to us as a certified officer, so he will be 2 or 3 weeks as a field training officer with somebody, and then he'll come right out onto the road again. So it'll be a little bit quicker turnover, but technically we have them a full complement, but we don't, because they have to be with somebody. They have to be scheduled with somebody, so.
So at this point, you have like really 3 people. There's the supervisor, who is limited in what he can do at this point in time, and the 2 officers. So you really take the 3 out of the full complement at this point in time.
Right.
Is there a timeline that the supervisor will be back?
We don't know that.
Okay.
It's medical, yeah.
Eric, anything else?
More of a understanding question. I don't know, has nothing to do with the budget, but it's part of the budget process, which is the police detail fund. I don't know what the exact title of it is, but how's it work when another town is on a detail in Tilton,
They first have to ask everyone in Tilton,
right?
okay? And they become certified to work in Tilton. In other words, they're okay. We certified Northfield. Northfield certifies us to go over there in mutual agreement. And so they first ask our PD for details, and then supervisors. And then if nobody, then they'll go to the area and ask for details.
Yep.
They get paid the same amount of money. They get so much, and
Does
then
that money go to the revolving fund or whatever?
it still goes to the revolving fund. So much goes to the revolving fund, the detail revolving
Right.
fund, and so much goes to the officer for detail.
Does the other town, I guess, more curiosity, let's say we charge $60 an hour to Company X, we're digging on Route 3, and we had to bring in a Northfield police officer, and maybe Northfield only charges $50 an hour to their detail,
It's what we charge,
so the officer gets paid what we charge.
what we charge,
Okay.
right. They accept the detail on what we pay.
So if they paid $75 an hour, they would still earn 60 if we paid 60?
That's correct,
Okay.
yeah.
Could you ask John for the next meeting to provide us with a breakdown of that fund that has the detail pay in, and also mileage on the cruisers for the next meeting?
We got mileage.
Do you just want
On mileage.
Do you want a summary of what we have in the detail fund?
That's correct.
Okay.
We have mileage.
That would come from Tim?
Tim sent it out today.
Oh, I didn't.
I got it just before we came to the meeting, I didn't print it.
No, you didn't get that, Jane. You got a fuel usage.
Oh, okay.
Fuel usage,
Right.
just in the mileage.
All right, so detail fund,
Total,
total.
and then mileage. Mileage on the cruisers.
What, in mileage on the cruises?
We have to get the gallon stuff. But we're trying to do that every couple of months instead of every month.
John has, John has should have the cruiser mileage on Google Drive.
Right.
That's set up to him with the officer filling it in,
If he
so.
wants to send that to us, that's fine.
And,
Same with the detail.
right, the detail fund will get from Tim because he's the one that works that.
Okay?
Got it.
Eric, anything else?
No, that was all my
Jane?
curiosity.
Stan?
Nope.
Hearing nothing else, let's move on to our next topic. You guys are doing well. Other business, we have a couple agenda items for other business. One is I have a letter I should have given to you in August that was sent to the selectmen, I believe, from the V&A, thanking people for including them in our annual budget. So I'll pass that around for people to take a look at, which is kind of nice. And for those people that are interested, because I know last year we had some concerns about bus schedules and the route, they've actually come out with a brochure with maps, schedules, the whole thing, and I will be more than glad to pass those out. And if you'd like to keep it, I have to go to my doctor later this week, I'll just get more.
There should be some
They're
downstairs.
Downstairs.
And there's plenty at the senior center also.
Yeah, these are available downstairs. Yep.
Yeah, because there was some question last year around that. Okay, next piece of business comes to us from our wonderful person over there. We are getting ready to schedule people, outside agencies, to come see us. We have been asked, are there agencies that we feel as a committee that we do not, that we repeat, do not have to see in order to make a determination about their potential funding? Or does the committee want to see all? Jane?
Yeah, I don't think it's necessary to see all. I would like to see those that are asking for an increase, for sure. And I would like to see the ones that have been controversial in the past. and the ones that ask for large amounts of money. And when I say controversial in the past, that would be Red Cross. Those that ask for large sums of money,
Hall Library, Rec,
Hall Library,
Tilton Pines.
Pines,
B&A.
well, actually,
John and Juliet had requested youth assistance program, so they'll be on the list.
who's requested you?
John and Julie.
Scanlon and
Okay.
Juliet said they'd like to hear from youth
Okay.
assistance.
That's interesting to me, because that's the group that I see the most helping out in the community when I go to various functions. I mean, their presence is very visible. But those Pines and the Red Cross are the two that I'm most concerned with. And I think in view of, and this has always been controversial, Genesis Behavior Health, in view of the large grant that they just received, I think again this year that I'm not interested in giving them.
Pat, I would like you to speak both as a budget committee member and from the selectmen, because we do this together. What are your feelings?
To me, personally, I feel like we're setting a precedent if we only pick and choose who comes before the Budget Committee. Me, as a selectman, I feel that everybody should be coming before the Budget Committee, whether or not they're small or large. They're asking for money, they should come here. It may seem like it's a waste of time, but I think that you're setting a precedent with other organizations, and they say, well, you know what, hey, the Old Home Day didn't come here, and
They never do have.
and they have in the past. It's just been the last couple of years that they haven't needed to. So that's my own personal opinion as a selectman. Things change, they change, and if we say no to them this year, do we say no to them next year? And if they change really big, do we say no to them this year and yes to them next year? I mean, there's going to be a lot of confusion, and now you're getting into a little rat's nest that I don't think we should belong.
Eric?
If you ask, you should show. If you ask, you should show up.
Right?
It also gives the public an opportunity to talk to them, like Birch Hill Kennels, for instance. We need them, we have to use them, there's not much of an outlet if there is an outlet, but if, for instance, a competitor wants to show up, or a different outlet, or the police department has issues with how their performance was, or the public has issues with their performance over the years, or something along those lines, not, just picked one off the top of my head, or, Old Home Day or Island Concert Series, if a group of citizens wants to come and say, I don't want concerts anymore, and this is the reason why, and, it gives the public an opportunity, not just us.
Pat, I'll entertain a motion.
For me? All right. I don't feel comfortable with it, but
If you're comfortable, go.
I'll make a motion that, that the Budget Committee hear from all outside agencies asking for money.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed?
Aye.
Okay. The vote is 4-1. Ayes, carry it. Okay. Now, second piece is, when do we want this to start? Feelings?
I would think, we'll look at last year's schedule, we'll get some feedback as to, but it's always earlier the better. Snow happens, things happen early, and then if somebody does fall out or can't make it, they prefer to come earlier the better, and then there'll be backups.
Now, we're adding 5 to what we've done in the past, so we need to consider that too in the scheduling.
Joanne, when can we start reasonably?
What I would suggest is we have, the letters requesting budgets were already sent out. We have a date of them coming in on October 1st. Your next scheduled meeting is, I believe it's the 14th, I believe. What I would do is, if you're planning to meet with Heather, I'd meet with Heather on the 14th, the welfare director. Get all of your materials at that time. I'll update you as they come in, hey, you know, here's what they're requesting.
Yeah,
And
looked at it. Tim
then
sent
go
it like
weekly
2 hours ago.
after that October 14th meeting, start going weekly, and I'll schedule them as we go. And I'll the schedule and let them know before that.
I think that, for the record, Birch Hill is a contractual, and it's per RSA that we have to have one. And, you know, I really do believe that they don't even belong on the list of outside agencies. They're in that category because I don't think finance needed a place to put them in the budget. It's contractual.
Is it contractual to the PD or the Parks Department, or who are we required to supply?
The town. We have to, it's required by the town.
By the
Each
state.
town has to have one, a place to. We could go to, there's one other place that we could contract with, the Humane Society, which would involve, they asked if they could submit a bid last year, and they never did. But it would involve an officer going up from here, taking an animal up to Laconia, to the Humane Society, which is probably about an hour or so round trip, if anything, and then paperwork each and every time. So prior to Birch Hill, we had Humane Society, and it was a lot more money. So that's why, before my time, they went to Birch Hill about 8 or 9 years ago. And since then, it's kind of remained even, same price for a lot of years.
Are there any others on here that we're contracted to?
Well, the cemetery you have to have.
The cemetery is the same, we're required by RSA to, there is an association though, we're required by law to have a burial ground by the town. So I would say that that is what it is. I mean, they're not going to come in and ask for more money each year. It's an association, and as they have funds coming in on their own to hopefully be self-sustaining. They haven't come in and asked us for money.
But their money really goes to the selectmen first?
Well, it goes through the trustees of the trust fund.
And then it goes through the selectmen?
And I have yet to see a request for us in 7 years, so.
Okay.
There's no funds that we've had to pay out of here for that. I mean,
So you're
So,
saying we don't pay anything to the Park Cemetery?
we pay a portion to,
$5,000.
yeah, it's $5,000 that we pay.
But it's covered under, when you submit your budget to us, that money is already in there.
And the trustee of the trust funds handles that money, so it's not us.
Are there any others?
No, I believe that's it.
Okay. I would like to make a motion that we remove Birch Hill Kennels and the Park Cemetery Associations from the outside agency list and deal with their appropriation as it comes through, attached to the selectmen's budget.
I second.
Discussion.
It sort of undermines the whole point of having everyone come.
They're not outside agencies.
They're not outside agencies. They're listed as outside agencies under the
shouldn't be
budget, but they
listed
shouldn't be. It's not an outside agency.
But your point's taken, Stan. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed?
Nay.
4 to 1, ayes have it. So we're going to take off from this list Birch Hill Kennels and Cemetery Association. Other than that, we will see them all. Do you have a preference on who we see first, last, or do we leave that up to Joanna?
I like the idea of meeting with welfare first
Okay.
on the 14th, because that kind of gives us,
Well, she's not an outside agency though, so
That's,
we would.
no,
meet
but
with her.
we meet with her first, and then
Yeah.
it kind of gives us the looking glass to other,
And then wait to see who comes,
yeah. I mean,
who's sent in?
doesn't matter to me how they show up, it
Yeah.
just matter.
I think if correspondence sees somebody that really wants to come early, the 21st, we could plug them right in, you know? Joanne has discretion as to the earlier ones, I would think.
we were kind of being very aggressive with our schedule for the budget. This week we have finance doing a framework, next week is highway, and so we're already doing the process. We're kind of hoping that it would move forward for us. I'm kind of thinking that we should probably have Heather in earlier than that,
Earlier than the 14th?
earlier than the 14th. And then you could start people on the actually meeting with people on the 14th.
Well, does the Budget Committee want us to meet the week before, which would be, is it October 7th? To Heather?
I think the earlier the better.
October 7th.
Joanna, is that possible? Would that be a...
It's fine with me, I'd just do whatever people want.
Jane?
That's fine with me.
Eric?
Works.
Jane,
Here
would you like to
anyways.
make a motion to that effect?
Make a motion to have Heather here on October 7th, and that will be the beginning of our dealing with outside
And
agents.
weekly meetings, yeah. I'll second the motion, yeah.
Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Joanna and Pat, would you let Heather know of that?
Can we eliminate November 23rd and December 23rd, November 25th and December 23rd? Those are Wednesdays right before the holidays.
Did we do that?
Okay.
Okay. Does the Budget Committee want to see anybody else? Either on the 7th or the 14th?
I think Heather's a pretty good meeting,
Yeah, and it's pretty
Yeah.
usually
and it gives her the opportunity.
bogged down, I think, too.
Pat, are you going to do all the different agencies in one group? Highway, police, town administrators, all at one meeting?
No. As a selectman?
No, as presenting their budgets to the
To
budget?
the budget committee, yes.
Okay, so,
Well, however, I think that's the way we did it last year, right?
It has changed various things throughout the years. In the past, it used to be each department head came in and presented their budget
Yeah.
separately, then it was each came in for one meeting with the selectmen and presented it all together, and then it was the selectmen preferred to present it without the department heads present. So, the budget committee can choose to meet with anyone however they want. If
Right.
you want to meet with department heads one-on-one, you can do that. If you want them all to come in on one meeting, you can do that. If you want to just meet with the selectmen and have it all go through them, you can do that. It's up to the committee however they choose to meet.
I don't think that there's an issue at all. If you would like, we're starting to prepare our budget now with the department heads. So if you want us, I didn't bring ours, we didn't really commit to the schedule, but it gives you a kind of a framework of it, of when we're hoping to have ours done. But if you wanted the department heads to come in and present it, you're going to get your answers one-on-one with them. That's where you're going to get your answers. And we can say, oh yeah, well this is this, and you're going to get your answers with the department heads. So And then if there are any changes, or if there's numbers that haven't come in, do you remember last year we didn't have the insurances or the health portion of it? That would come later. Then the selectmen can present that when we come, if it's in their budget.
When would you think they would be able to present a cogent budget? Because they're working on them right now. So I would imagine it's pretty helter-skelter until it's in a final form. How much more
Way
time would
helter-skelter. It'd probably be the first part of November.
Okay. So if we were to meet with them
Middle of
one-to-one,
November, yep.
it'll be after November that they would have a budget that would be at least in a final draft form.
In a framework, yeah.
Yeah, final framework, okay. Okay, good. So,
But I would think that, for me, I'd prefer to meet have the department head here present than just have the selectmen presenting for it.
yes. But the base of my question was, when we have that meeting, do we want all the department heads and the selectmen together? And then we can still address questions individually to each one of the department heads.
Well, we came in and with the department heads, and you asked the questions, and then there were some changes. If we needed to make any changes after that, if we got any different answers or needed to do any more homework, I believe it was a couple of weeks after that when the selectmen actually presented the
Right.
budget, and that's when we had all of the answers and everything buckled up by then. So,
I think we also have to let them do their process a little when you get a little closer to when you're,
Right.
those decisions can be made when you guys when the dust settles a little bit on your process.
Now, if we have Heather for the 7th, if we get a couple of people, or a couple of organizations that want to come in early, do we want to give Joanna the ability to schedule them for the 14th, or do we need to review their packets prior to setting a schedule for them?
We can review them on the 7th, can't we?
Yes. Is there anything legally that we have to provide them as a time period for the schedule, to schedule them?
when was the notice, when do they have to have all of their...
October 1st.
October 1st, so they have to submit everything to us by October 1st, so Johanna will have all that information. And if you give Johanna the leeway to put in wherever she can put in people, organizations, we'll have that in our packages already.
Yeah, and it also gives us an understanding of what research we need to do. All right, well, the 14th will be A and B, the 21st will be C, D, and E.
I really don't think we should have anybody the night we have Heather, though.
No.
I'm talking about the 14th.
Yeah.
If we start the budget season on the 14th officially, okay, and if Joanna, if there's 3 of them, throw them in and we'll do them. And then we'll have that packets on the 7th. And if we could do the packets even a week ahead of each one of them, so we don't get overburdened with all the paperwork, I'm comfortable with that.
Okay, you want me to hold on to the budget requests until the week before? Or do you want me to give them to you as I get them?
I would like them.
Give them to us as you get them, I prefer.
Yeah, I prefer that.
Okay, does anybody need binders? I can give you binders, you can put them in.
I don't know.
I have a binder, I'm all set.
I don't.
Pat?
We get ours from Gail downstairs.
Okay.
Johanna gives her the
Can we get them
information.
electronically?
I should be able to get them to you electronically.
If not, then I'll take a binder, but otherwise...
Okay.
If it's easier
I
to
do-
do it in a binder, just get me a binder.
I do have one.
If it's easier to do
announcement if you'd
electronically,
like.
send it to me electronically.
Pat, go ahead, ma'am.
Regarding department and department heads, I just wanted to, you probably already know this, but I just wanted to announce it officially. We have hired a replacement for Dennis Allen at the Director of Public Works, and that replacement is Johnny Van Tassel. Lives in Samberton, but was the highway director over in Northfield. So he started working August 31st. He's been here a couple of weeks. Dennis will retire the end of the 3rd or 4th week of September. So you'll be having somebody new to deal with.
Okay. Has there been a,
When's it retiring?
is there a training period between the two of them?
Dennis is mentoring him now,
Mentoring,
but,
yeah.
right, so, do you have his email? The new one?
When's Dennis's last day?
Nobody knows. I don't even know that.
Okay, Joanna, we're all set with the scheduling and stuff?
Stop showing up.
You're comfortable?
And could you also email everyone in the Budget Committee that the October has changed to the first week of October, and then it'll be weekly after that?
He's good, because he knows I'll forget.
Yeah.
Old age.
Do we have a full complement of Budget Committee members?
We're still working on one more. And we will be getting, hopefully, one soon. Okay? We're working on it. I have some folks that are coming, so we'll do it. Good. Further business for the Budget Committee? If there is further business, Chair will entertain a motion to adjourn. Second?
I'll second.
Non-debatable motion. All those in favor? Aye.
Right.
Those opposed? None. Ayes, ayes.
Jane,
Would you take the...
can you pass that to Wayne? That's the literature that was passed around. Thanks.
Once she gets the camera